Hello everyone, EmyyWolf here, back to you with another video. Today, I will tell you a different story, and it's the story that follows the first story about my second job. So, I hope you all are ready for this one. How exciting! So basically, this is the story of my next two jobs following the first one. However, in these next stories, I won't tell them in third person. I'm just gonna tell them as me and I. Like, I'm not gonna use my real name, obviously, but you can assume that it's EmyyWolf, you know, me, my story, because I'm EmyyWolf. So, you know, I hope you understand, like, my name and who I am. But I'm not gonna tell it in third person anymore. It's gonna be, you know, this happened to me and I did this and I did that, because the third person thing, I just feel like it's not working out. So that's just how it's gonna be. Also, if you guys weren't here for the first story, I'm gonna leave a link in the description, and also I'm gonna leave a card, and maybe even like at the end of the video you can find like where my videos are, especially the story of my first job. It's gonna be somewhere around here, so just look for it. So it's better because you would be able to understand some of the characters better. But moving on. Also, guys, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I have a new Facebook, and I have a couple Facebook groups for you guys to join if you're not snowflakes, obviously. So I'm gonna leave all of those links below, and be sure to remember about that, because the truth is important, okay? Like, the truth matters, and we're exposing it. Like, we're exposing all the actor knots and all the astronauts, which they're not. So you guys just go there, okay? It's important. Like, if it's not important to you, then what is? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Being a sheep bot? Like, no. And remember, guys, my old bot YouTube videos for when I was a bot is gonna be on my second channel, EmyyWolf Productions. It's gonna be everywhere in the description. It's gonna be at the end of the video. It's gonna be everywhere on my channel. You have to search this out for your own, like a grown adult that you are. Anyway, moving on. This story is about my next two jobs after I quit the hellish restaurant from the first story, and the video is gonna be around here somewhere. It's called My First Job. So yeah, after I was done putting up with the hellish witch, the demonic ass witch, I quit, and it was the best decision I've ever made, because that was just a relief. Like, I lived with my parents at that time, and like, I wasn't gonna like struggle or anything. I was 19, maybe 18, one of those. And if I quit, I wasn't gonna like stay on the street or anything. I didn't have to put up with that witch. I could just apply to another job. So after I quit the hellish restaurant with all the witches in there and all the whales in there who wore glasses, I decided to take a year off work. So basically I was unemployed for a year, but also I went to the little public safety training that Eiffel Tower told me about. Eiffel Tower is this really super tall girl that I used to know in high school. I mentioned her in the previous story, and I had actually saved about 5K or 5 grand, how you call it, from the restaurant. So I was literally eating away at all the savings that I earned at the restaurant. And the public safety training school was also pretty expensive. It was about $300 or around there. And EmyyWolf decided to also go for armed public safety training, which she paid for, and something went wrong with the application, so they didn't give her the license, and that was money gone straight into the trash. So basically, the armed training that she took was also another $300, and after like failing at that, well, she didn't fail, but something went wrong with the application. She kind of gave up with that, and she just continued trying to get the job where Eiffel Tower was working at. And EmyyWolf, around that time, which was practically a year that she was unemployed, she gained hella weight. Like, this girl was putting on weight. She was eating everything and buying everything that she could, especially when it came to food. She was also hoarding pets. Like, she was buying frogs, she was buying geckos, she even bought a cat around that time, and she was spending all her money on them. She also had gone to college. And this time she was paying for it with her own money. But since she didn't know what she wanted to study, and since she didn't know what she wanted her career to be, she ended up failing all her classes, unfortunately. She was in such a depression around that time that she was gaining weight like never before. She became obese. Like, she ended up becoming one of those whales at the restaurants with glasses on. I'm sorry, guys. Me, not she. I'm supposed to be telling this story in first person. No third person anymore. Okay? Me. I'm the one who, is putting up with all this throughout the story. Me. I was spending all my $5,000 that I had earned. I was putting on weight. I was the one eating away at my money. I was depressed around that time. Me. Anyway, moving on. Throughout this year, I think it was 2018, I was depressed, and like I said, I failed college because I didn't know if I wanted it. I started to go broke, basically. So it came to the point that my sister and my dad, they were trying to help me. So they would pay for my car insurance, they would pay for my food. Literally, it came to the point that I had no savings anymore, and I was just running on cash, like some cash that I had left on my bank. So that's when finally the job where my friend Eiffel Tower was at ends up calling me for an interview. Literally, when I needed the job the most, I finally get the job that I hoped for so long, for a year. Literally where I wanted to work, literally where my friend is at, literally where Eiffel Tower is at, so I can work with her, my friend that I knew from high school. It was just amazing. And obviously, that's a public safety job, so it was gonna pay more than freaking McDonald's. However, I was scared that I might see some of the deranged fat witches from the restaurant, so that was one of those. So I passed the interview, I passed the orientation. Literally at the orientation, I saw that one big boss from the restaurant, Miranda, pass by, and it was stressful. She was not someone EmyyWolf ever wanted to see ever again in her life. Honestly, most of the people from that horrible restaurant she never again wanted to see, but there she was, Miranda, the main boss, walking by during the freaking orientation of that new job she was getting to after a year of not having seen her, unfortunately. So I literally end up getting that job. I literally end up working with my friend Eiffel Tower there, my friend from high school. It was just unbelievable. I literally got the job where my friend was at. The exact job. Who does that even happen to? Who gets the job that they wanted after not even applying to it for a whole year? EmyyWolf just applied to that job last minute when she was running out of money. Anyway, me, EmyyWolf, sorry. I end up reuniting with my friend there from high school. It was so strange and awesome and weird because it was we were different grown people now, even though we were just maybe 19, maybe 21. I mean 20, not 21. It was maybe 2 years that we had left high school then. But even though even though I knew her from high school, she wasn't my friend. She wasn't a bestie. She wasn't someone she was close to, but she did get along with her when she had classes with her here and there, and they would talk and they would try to get along and conversate. She was cool. She was just cool, but she wasn't one of EmyyWolf's main B's, main B word, or main bestie. You get it. My bad, I meant me. Sorry. After after I got to know a lot of people at that job, and we're just gonna call it public safety job, because I don't want to spill the tea too much. I don't want people to know exactly what type of work or job this was. My privacy. This was public safety now, and I had to learn the ups and downs of that job and public safety and what it meant. It was a very strict government type job because it was in a travel station. I'm not gonna name what it is, again, privacy, but it was a station for travel. And in this job, it was an overnight job, so that was pretty tough for young EmyyWolf, to undertake. And I got to meet a lot of the coworkers, employees, and supervisors. Most of the supervisors were females, they were women, and the reason for this was because women had to physically touch, and search other women passengers. So that's the reason this specific public safety job needed more women than it needed men. So I ended up finding out pretty quickly in that job that there was even more witches, okay? They weren't obese and huge and gigantic or extremely old and trying to like be evil grandmas. Like, it wasn't that, but they were kind of older, kind of like in their 50s maybe, kind of in their 40s, but they were assholes. These were bullies, guys. Full-blown bullies. In this job, there was like one or two men, like males, guys, like one or two here and there. And the managers, it was almost 5 of them. Majority of them, they were, like I said, pretty old, and only one of them was young. It was this like girl of color. She was probably in her 20s, 30s. But for the rest of them, they were old. They were again Hispanic, old, and they had that micromanaging behavior. They micromanaged. They were kind of bullies. They had that side-eye thing going on. And they even had favorites that you could take notice of. My friend Eiffel Tower, she was one of these favorites of them, obviously. My friend Eiffel Tower, she had already been there 2-3 years, so she already knew the ups and downs. She knew everything. She knew all the people, like, obviously. Now, the main boss, he was like an African guy, and he always catered to the bosses only. Like, he only had conversations with mainly just the supervisors. Like I said, these old witches again. And I don't want to waste too much time in this story because I just want to get to the next one. So I'm just gonna say, basically, I fell asleep in that job because it was overnight and you could not use your phone, you could not do anything. You had to sit there like a robot. You had to sit there like, I don't know, like a statue. And you know, I fell asleep because that's what people do at night. They fall asleep if they can't use their goddamn phone. So that's where I ended up getting fired by this stupid asshole. And that was basically it. Like, my friend Eiffel Tower, she stayed there forever. Like, I did talk to her after that, but you know, it was just funny. So, you know, I ended up saving about $1,000. And that was it for that job, you know. One of the funny things is that these damn bullies, these old witches, they would have a lot of fun writing people up. So they would like try to find people using their phone or trying to hide their phone. And as soon as they did, they had a lot of fun writing a write-up. It was so funny. That job was more like a ghetto TSA where you had to scan in the employees, and usually these employees, like travel station employees, would be pissed to get to work in the morning. So that was also pretty funny. Now, after I got fired, I was again worried that I would go broke, that I would, like, you know, be unemployed for a long time, that I would be just losing money, losing the $1,000 that I saved. I would struggle again. It would be tough. It would be shitty. Like, now I have to apply like crazy again. Anyway, I apply. And maybe after a 2 weeks, I get a job. And this job is NASA. Just kidding, it's not actually NASA. Like, it's the amusement park for children. It's that one little stupid park. I'm not gonna say where, obviously, but it's the freaking like Disney looking park where they show you a bunch of rockets that don't work anymore. They show you a bunch of fake ass rockets and CGI. You know, since the earth is flat and nobody can get out, you know, it's all pseudoscience and fake made up science and rockets. Hell, even then in 2018, I knew the earth was flat. What the fuck am I talking about? Like, 2018 was when I discovered flat earth. So when I went to that stupid park, that stupid amusement park for kids and for brain dead adults, yeah, like, I would see that stupid snake tongue on that fucking symbol every fucking day, and I would be pissed as fuck, guys. Like, that shit, don't fucking lie to my face. Like, you can keep the cattle asleep, but not me, bitch. The government and companies pull the money out of asleep zombies. Anyway, moving on. I freaking hated that job. That job was torture. It paid a misery. Again, like the restaurant, it paid you movie tickets as money. It paid you with coins. It paid you nothing. Not only that, but I was more like in the center of the peninsula, and this location was like outside in the sea, like outside on an island. So I had to travel literally an hour every morning to get paid, I don't know, nothing. This job was again public safety because now I was using my public safety license. I just wanted to get paid more, than what Taco Bell and McDonald's would give you, you know what I'm saying? So I was about 3 months in that ghetto TSA before I got fired, and I believe this fake NASA amusement park for children and zombies was also, I lasted 3 months there, but I did not get fired. I'll tell you guys this story right now. So every morning I would travel a full-blown hour to the ocean, to the sea, to the sea shore every single day. It was horrible because I would have to literally fly through the highway for a full-blown hour, which was not okay. It was gonna damage my car. I was not down for that, but I needed money and I needed a job. I was essentially forced to be there until I could find a better job or a closer job or just something else other than that. I guess luckily I was able to see some of the rockets up close. I was able to see some of the rockets that are inside the building. They were pretty huge, pretty fake probably, pretty, a BS, all of that. But I got to see it. I got to see it all. Now that I was public safety there, I got to see their CGI movies. I got to see their CGI balls. I got to see their floating balls. I got to see and touch a fake ass moon rock. Rock from the moon that was apparently there, that apparently all the sheep and asleep zombies would touch, and it was apparently like you would be touching a rock from the moon. Can you believe that, guys? I got to touch a rock from the moon. I got to touch the moon. And I didn't have to even pay price of admission. Can you believe that? Like, what? How could this even happen to me? Like, who decides this? And at that time, guys, like, honestly, I already found out all the flat earth stuff. I already saw those astronauts, actronauts videos and how they can't answer questions properly. Like, it's all fake. Like, me being there felt like a joke. Every day I would see masses of sheep and bots and cattle go in there to try and learn some bullshit ass lie, BS lie, made up pseudoscience lie, and they would eat it up in front of my face. And as public safety over there, I had to be at the turnstiles, so I would basically have to scan the cattle in. I had to scan the sheep in. I had to scan the zombies in. I had to scan the bots in, one by one at a time, individually, person by person. In just one day, I would have to scan about 200, 500 people. So you can imagine how it was every single day. Absolutely every single day, I would have to scan 500 to maybe 700 people, depending on how gullible the sheep and bots are. I guess it was kind of a dumb privilege to be able to see those rockets up front in my face without having to pay the price of admission. I guess it was kind of a dumb privilege to maybe see fake ass, huge, enormous rockets in front of me. Probably, maybe, I don't know. I got to ride their stupid little tour buses all alone. I was like the only passenger. It was pretty cool, I guess. I got to see some sorry alligators on the floor that these demons set up there for the gullible sheep to eat up. Obviously, it was kind of sad. And every weekend, I think it was, that a brand new rocket launch would happen. It was weird because, like, personally, in my everyday life, before I became a NASA employee, amusement park employee, I didn't know that they sent rockets up there every other weekend or every weekend. Like, what? Why don't people know this? What? Why are they sending them, bitches? There's probably no one in the rockets at all, even. Like, maybe they send those rockets to the Bermuda Triangle, then those rockets fall back down, and maybe that's where the hundreds upon millions of thousands of dollars go. Who knows at this point? But every other weekend, you got to see that made-up distraction for the bots. I got to discover some of the ins and outs of some of these enormous playgrounds for the children. That was pretty cool, I guess. And they have like a little tiny museum there for the bots to eat up, for the sheep to eat up, where they have their stupid little scuba diver suits, some of the older scuba diver suits, some of their fake ass artifacts that are fake. Yeah. What can I tell you? That's the world we live in. Fake made up history, fake made up science. Giant floating spinning space balls, guys. Anyway, moving on. This job, I hated it. It was just the workload. It was traumatizing. It was unbearable. You had to screen in hundreds upon thousands of gullible people, of the people that wanted to be entertained by floating space balls, one after the other, one by one. It was just not fair. Especially at the turnstiles where you had to screen them in through that little scanner and have them walk through it, and then you would have to touch their disgusting bags and have to like freaking try to search their disgusting, nasty little bags and purses and freaking touch them and search them and pat them down. It was disgusting. And I don't think I've had that level of an annoying job of workload in a previous job. Maybe the restaurant where you had to take orders from the cows one after the other and cash them out. Anyway, that was my experience working at NASA. I was basically a public safety person that had to scan people in, and after getting fired, obviously. But here at this public safety job at NASA, I basically had to like work with a bunch of Santa Clauses. Like literally all my coworkers were super old, super wrinkly. They were all in their 90s, probably getting to their 100s. They were old. Like I don't know what it was about this place, but just these public safety ass freaking managers and people and coworkers, they were just old. So there was no one my age. I was like 20, maybe 20 by this point, maybe 19, one of those. And I call them Santa Clauses because the majority of them were guys. They were male. They were men. Like the women there, it was like one or two women here and there. Not that many, if not none at all, basically. But yeah, they were all guys in this public safety area. And it was just weird for me, like as a girl, as a 20-year-old, 19-year-old girl, what? I also call them Santa Clauses because they all had like white hair at that point. They were all literally looking like Santa Clauses, like, and we were reaching December, like we were reaching Christmas time, so it made sense to call them Santa Clauses. But yeah, that was my time working at NASA. Like literally everyone there seemed to be like American, like white, and I'm Hispanic, so it was like kind of weird, no offense, because I grew up in an area where it's more like Hispanic, Latino people, and maybe like African American people, and like white American people there is, but there's not, like the majority isn't them. So when I went to NASA, it was like the majority are all pale, basically. I don't know, that just kind of made me feel uncomfortable. Like, that wasn't my people. That wasn't what I'm used to, I guess. And that was my experience there, basically, at NASA. There's a rocket launch every weekend. There's a bunch of old rockets in there thrown around. There's CGI movies where you can see CGI space balls that flow in the middle of nothing. So, yeah, now you know what's in there. And the people that visit this type of park are usually all nerds and probably like schools, like field trips and children to get indoctrinated at early ages. That's the type of people that go visit this park. If you guys want to hear a different version of this story, I wrote it down in my other website, my art website, and I called it The Write-Up because it talks about my next job. And that'll be a different story. That'll probably be the next story. So I'll leave that link down below. So it's in DeviantArt. It's called The Write-Up. I'll leave the link down below, here, everywhere. Just find it and check it out. But now we're getting to the end, and this is basically the way I left this job. And it is hilarious, you guys. So basically, all these Santa Clauses wanted me to work on Christmas, and they wanted me to work on New Year's. It was late 2018, remember? Because, you know, the previous story was 2017. Well, now we were in 2018, and we were in late 2018. So basically, I was already angry at the freaking Santa Clauses because they used to get mad at me because I didn't know how to use their little walkie-talkie radio deal. Especially the main boss, the main manager, he like gave me the radio walkie-talkie deal, and he wanted me to understand, to know how to use that bullshit, like just like that, without any training. He expected me to already know how to use that bullshit. So I was already pissed at them. Like, I already missed out on Halloween. I missed out on Thanksgiving thanks to this horrible, stupid job far, far away. This stupid job in the kingdom of far, far away. That's the way I call it in my written version of this story. So yes, do check that out. It's just a short story, like short stories that you read. Just read it out. It's short. Like, you're not gonna waste any time. Anyway, moving on. So basically, I had been applying, and I was freaking applying like freaking crazy. I did not like this place. Not because about where it is, even though it was so far away in the kingdom of far, far away, or what it is about, because that did piss me off too, like seeing that disgusting snake tongue presented all over my face, the NASA snake tongue, even though like I didn't give a shit. But it was mainly because of the location, like it was so far, and the type of people that were there, and that I wasn't used to, and obviously that was a butt slave job, and I wasn't about to take it, and I wasn't about to spend Christmas inside of there, inside that snake tongue lying ass freaking beep. And finally, after applying a gazillion times with my brand new freaking public safety license, I finally get a call. And you guys, I get a call, and I go to the interview, and oh my god, they said, hey girl, you want to come to this job? It's not in the kingdom of far, far away, or somewhere far, far away in the freaking country of who knows what. But anyway, I go to that interview of that new place. Like, when I went there, I didn't know what it was. Like, honestly, like, I saw the words, like, of freaking places where you go shopping, but I didn't know exactly what it was. But I go to the interview, I somehow end up finding the freaking office of that place, which was hidden in a secret cave, in a secret labyrinth of who knows what. And the boss there, I mean, I guess the guy I was doing the interview with was a handsome, freaking prince looking, Ryan Reynolds looking type of but oh my god, this guy was just like the handsomest boss, CEO of who knows what the freak he was. Like, honestly, I don't know what he was. I guess maybe he was the general manager, director, who knows what, honestly. But oh my god, I left that interview, I presented myself the best way that I possibly could at all, and on my way back driving, some guy calls me, some nerdy voice type of guy calls me, and he says, you have passed the interview with prince looking, Ryan Reynolds looking type guy, and he was impressed with you. And I was so happy because oh my god, after seeing that guy, I'm like, oh my god, I want to work here, I better work here. Seeing that guy like save me from the Santa Clauses. But honestly, what a piece of luck. After passing the interview, obviously I was about to leave that Santa Claus ridden place, like that freaking snake tongue NASA horrible place for children, for CGI floating balls, that is far from my house, that I have to travel almost 2 hours to get there. Like, ew, like, please save me from that job. So this is when I decided to leave NASA and those godforsaken Santas. I was not gonna work Christmas with them. I was not gonna work New Year's with them. And this is the best decision I've ever made. So basically, the nerd guy on the phone, the one that was gonna schedule me for my new job, he literally tells me that I can start working in the beginning of January of the next year. How lucky is that? So this is when I took advantage and decided to just leave NASA and those sorry Santa Clauses. It was freaking hilarious. So what I did was, I just, one of those nights when we were leaving from that stupid NASA amusement park for deranged people, sheep, and children that don't know better, I just took all my uniforms and I put a little stupid note in there saying, thank you for everything, Santas. No, just kidding, but I just said thank you for everything. And I just left all those uniforms inside of a bag with a little note on the side. And I guess I wrote my name down, but I was not about to give my 2 weeks. I was not gonna request my 2 weeks before I leave, that whole deal. Like, honestly, I wasn't gonna work Christmas, I wasn't gonna work New Year's with those sorry entitled people. I wasn't gonna quit properly because I just wasn't. What the hell? I can do whatever the hell I want. I'm free. I ain't no sheep asleep boss. What the hell you think I'm talking about? You are free to do as you wish. If you wanna go, you go. Christmas is to celebrate Jesus, to celebrate the Lord, to celebrate the Creator, God, okay? To celebrate time with your family, to celebrate that you're still alive and still know God. That's what it's about. That's what the years are about. That's what 2018 is about. I wasn't gonna stay there in NASA with the snake tongue. Hell no! On Christmas Eve, you're playing with me. But thankfully, that nerd in the phone told me that I was hired and I was gonna work in the beginning of 2019 in January. So freak them, the Santa Clauses at the kingdom of far, far away in NASA. And that's the story of how I worked and quit at NASA 2018. How do you like that? And also that one other stupid job where they fired me. But I hope you guys like that. But anyways, you guys, this is pretty much the end of this video. What I'm gonna say is that I'm gonna have you guys join my groups. So my first group is gonna be called Flat Level Earth on Facebook. The second one is gonna be called Controversial Corner in Facebook. And my last group is called Flat World Discussion on Facebook. So if you have Facebook, those groups are like the best things you could join right now. We're spilling the truth, we're exposing everything, we're spilling the tea, so go join those groups right now. And for my social links, my name on DeviantArt, where I do my art, is going to be the same name that I have here on YouTube. The rest of my links are going to be down below, so remember to look down below on the description or everywhere in my channel and go find that right now. Remember also that my other channel is EmyyWolf Productions. That's where I have all my other videos, the ones that are gone from this main channel. So if you thought that I deleted all my videos, well, that's not the case. I just moved them over there, so you can find them over there. If you guys wish to read the future of this story, like if you want a spoiler to the story that I'm gonna tell next, it's basically about my job in 2019, but it's all written out and it gets pretty adult-ish. So if you want to search that out, you would have to go to my DeviantArt, and it's called Fat Tinkerbell because I used to call myself Fat Tinkerbell because someone nicknamed me Tinkerbell. Or you could search up hold on, it's gonna be Little Red Fat Tinkerbell because I used to have red hair and I'm like really small and really short. So Little Red Fat Tinkerbell or just Fat Tinkerbell. But go on DeviantArt, and that's where all my story is written out about my job in 2019. Or you could search up LRFT. That stands for also Little Red Fat Tinkerbell. But I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, my next video is going to be probably the next story, the 2019 story. Or it's going to be a conspiracy theory because I'm trying to get into that. Like, the truth matters. I already told you guys that the truth matters. And yeah, like, have a blessed day. Please wake up if you're asleep. And you know what I mean by that. Like, don't go to NASA. And honestly, like, yeah, go to my groups. You'll learn a lot. And that's pretty much it. Like, honestly, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.